Hey everybody, welcome to another Intent Company Live. It is Wednesday, March 6th, 5 p.m. Central Time. We are at number 38. 38, I remembered. We are on the second half of our 75 consecutive live broadcast. And today, we are going to go over local SEO. I'm going to demystify SEO. I'm going to make it simple. SEO is one of those things where, you know, you're like, how do I do it? What makes it work? And all the different stuff. It's actually way more simple than you think. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it means it's simple. So I'm going to simplify it, and then you can see if you've got what it takes to make it happen. But before we do that, help us out. Help a brother out. Do the stuff, click the buttons, get the word out.
Hey guys, welcome back. And make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell for notifications.
Awesome. Thank you, Braden. He had his second game last night. Had a nice volley goal. You know, it was a corner kick. That ball took one bounce. It was up high. Turned his foot on it. Put it in the back of the net. That's he's got a goal each of the last two games. As you can tell, I'm like proud dad, but Mr. Soccer guy, he's doing well. So, I need like a radio broadcast, guys. I need to be able to, like, people call in. I need some kind of like studio audience. Hey, what happened to the thing, Chels? I wanted the button where I can make the, remember we had that on the last tool we were going to use? The claps, the audience thing. I want to be able to push a button and get the other software. Chels, I know we can figure this out. We can make this happen. My video producer is balking on the fake studio audience laugh track kind of stuff. Write it down, Chelsea. Make it happen. That's right. She's got it. It's going to happen. So, like I said, local SEO, we're going to dig in. I do encourage you to go to intentcompany.com/live to get access to all the stuff that we're doing during the lives, right? We're going to be meeting most of the time at 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, but we will go live every single day, Monday through Friday. Also want you to check out our Focus and Fire workshop, dramatically discounted during these 75 days, and it'll go right back to $2,000 when we're done, and we will not discount it again. Check us out on all the different social media. It's all at Intent Company, but if you click on the link, you can get some direct links, plus some links to my personal account, because obviously you love this stuff so much, and you want to see what I ate for dinner last night. You're welcome. Also, check out our customer journey assessment. This is a great tool for developing like a full path to purchase marketing system, right? Or marketing strategy. How do you get people to know you exist? Get them to have affinity, action, advocacy. Also want you to check out our Intent Company group. We got the app live on your favorite phone, app store, free workshops, purpose-driven community. Actually got a bunch of cool stuff I want to do with this. And go log in, check it out, and join us in there. And if you've already got customers, then I want to recommend that you check out our WOW campaign blueprint. This is the tool. If you've already got customers, how to turn them into raving fans. It is fantastic, and you will like it quite a bit. All right, let's dig into the content. Let's get into it. Local SEO. Now, what's the difference between local SEO and regular SEO? Well, if you don't know the answer to that, you probably don't have a local business, because local SEO is a massive driver for local businesses, service-based businesses, anything that's in your local area. Local SEO is really based on the main thing you see is how it impacts Google Maps, right? So when somebody does a search for auto repair near me, and you got your little map, which one pops up? Which one comes up number one? Which comes up number two? It's not because of location. There's a lot of different factors that come into getting you a number high. And I tell you what, if you can find yourself to be top 3 in some of those types of searches, you know, HVAC near me, plumbing near me, accounting services near me, any kind of service-based business. I mean, I work for retail and stuff like that as well, but in the service industry, it's huge. It can be a massive driver. Now, what is SEO? SEO means search engine optimization. It means there's things that you do to optimize your website, different aspects that optimizes your search listings, right? So I'm going to use Google because Google owns like 70% of the market share. Somebody goes to Google, does a search, again, hairdresser near me, auto repair near me, accounting near me, and how do you show up? Well, there's a algorithm, there's a system, it's basically a code that Google uses to determine which listings get put in what places, and it's an extraordinarily profitable endeavor. You got to think, if you're number 1, number 2, number 3, we're talking many millions of dollars can be won or lost by where you fall in that category. And so there's some massive opportunity there. I will say as a caveat before I dig in on this, I think there's a tendency to overemphasize certain marketing channels and to negate other ones, right? So local SEO has this massive impact, and it's really easy for companies to go all on board. In fact, most of the companies that we talk to about our automated advocacy machine, and which is, again, totally different type of way of doing marketing, maximizing relationship with current customers, getting referrals, reviews, reorders, all that stuff. And actually part of our system directly affects local SEO. But there's so many businesses that we talk to where local SEO is like it. This is all they think about. This is all they talk about. This is all that they use to grow their business. And it's really easy to overemphasize that channel. It's easy to overemphasize other channels. Some companies, they're really focused on paid ads and Facebook. And in marketing, you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, as they say. Why? Because everything's constantly changing. Google, when you put all of your growth into Google, don't worry, Google will disappoint you because they will change something, right? I remember back, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I was really big into SEO. I did it for, many, many huge companies, like Fortune 500 companies. I was doing, ranking number 1 for terms like tripods and camping recipes and running shoes and like big company SEO projects. And back in, again, about 12 years ago, there were these 2 releases that Google did. They do algorithm updates, right? And these algorithm updates that they did, they called it Panda and Penguin. They have all these cute names for, totally destroying people's websites and businesses and money. They call them cute little animal names. And basically what they're doing is they're making changes to the way that they rank, like their system of measurement with what's going on in order to provide better listings. Okay. And so again, before I get into like the specifics for local SEO, I think it's super important to realize like I said search engine optimization, but what really is SEO, or what really is Google doing, right? You go to Google, you do a search, and all this stuff comes up. Like, what does Google actually provide? What does Google actually do? What do they actually provide? What do they give to the marketplace? Is our studio audience listening? What does Google provide? What do you guys think Google provides? Everything. So Giselle just had a really great one. She said everything. And it's true. Actually, we just did a whole Google Workspace update with all the different tools. You think about it. You got the email, you got Drive, you got Maps, you got Gmail, Calendar. Like they have like everything. And you can actually get all of that for like basically free. Why do they do that? All right. I got to train my team a little bit more, but that's okay. But
people are looking for things.
People are looking for things. Now we're on to something. Okay, Chelsea's doing it over there. People are looking for things. So you think about it. People are looking. You're searching for something, a search. And what Google wants to do is they want to give you as many cool free things as possible. So when you decide that you want to look for something and you go click, 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 that it's actually happening on their search engine. Because when they do a search on your search engine, they're going to have paid listings, the ads. And that is basically how they make 90+% of all of their money is with paid ads. Everything else that they provide is so that people choose to use Google when they do a search. And they do a good job of it. Like I said, there's about a 70% market share in the US. So it's higher in other countries. So you got to think about it. 70 out of 100 times, 7 out of every 10 times that somebody's looking for something, does a search, it happens on Google. So there's this massive amount of searches that are happening, and a massive amount of people are clicking on these paid ads, and that's how they make their money. So they give all this other stuff for that. Now, before Google, the overwhelming number one search engine was Yahoo. And one of the reasons why Google actually took over Yahoo in a big way was because Yahoo had the worst listings. So you would do a search for, whatever, again, auto repair near me, and there'd be a link for running shoes, number 3. And you're like, what is that? Well, what they were doing was people could buy listings. They could basically, and it wouldn't even say sponsored. It would just be auto repair, running shoes. And why? Because that company spent money. So they were actually manipulating the results, and the content was all messed up, and people hated Yahoo. So back in the late 90s, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, the founders of Google, when they were doing their thesis project at Stanford University, their project was literally to create this algorithm that would provide great search results. And really what they provide, this is super important. I'm giving you all this history because if you understand this, marketing becomes super simple. SEO becomes simple. Search, all this stuff becomes super simple if you get this. So they created all this algorithm so that when people searched for something, the search engine would give them the most relevant result. Relevance is the most important phrase to realize if you want to be successful in marketing. If you want to be successful in search engines, you want to be successful in paid search, you want to be successful SEO, local SEO, it's your relevance. So Google literally measures the whole algorithm, everything they're doing is trying to figure out when somebody goes and searches auto repair near me, the more relevant the listing that Google gives to you, the higher likelihood that somebody clicks. The higher likelihood that somebody clicks and finds what they want, you have a more satisfied user. And so then they don't want to leave Google. If people find the results they get on Google being, messed up and bringing things that I don't want, guess what? You're going to stop using it. You're going to go somewhere else. And then that's when all their ad revenue goes. And then this giant mega tech company is losing money because it's all based on relevance. So every aspect of this is just saying, how can you be as relevant as possible? And Google is looking for indicators of relevance, okay? Indicators of relevance. So when we're dealing with local SEO, there are some aspects of this that you can't really manipulate. So for instance, if somebody does auto repair near me and you're 72 miles away, you're probably not going to show up on that list. Because why? You could be the best auto repair in the world, have all the rest of the stuff I'm about to tell you, but you're not near them. You're not close. You're not relevant to that person. So you're not going to show up on that listing. That's seems obvious. But that proximity is a major aspect of local SEO. So obviously, when you're doing local SEO, you've got a bubble. You've got a radius around your business that you have some level of influence to show off your relevance. Okay? So that's an obvious one. There's some other one. I'm going to get into some things you can manipulate, but here's some other things that actually impact local SEO that you really can't do anything about. One of the main factors that Google looks at to say hey, is this a legitimate business? Is this legitimately relevant? Am I giving a good recommendation? Is actually how long the business has been around. So websites that have been around for a long time generally outperform newer websites. You got to think, if you've got a website that's been on the web for 15 years, it's been up, it's been running, people have been going to it, there's no complaints, that's a huge indicator of relevance. It's this company's been around for 15 years. They must do pretty good at what they're doing to still be in business and to still have a website. If you go build and you start a new business and you start a new website and it's been up for 3 weeks and you're wondering, oh, I'm doing all this stuff, why am I ranking? You just think about that. There's a higher level of reputation for a company that sticks around longer than another company, right? There's just more relevance there. So Google's always going to prioritize that site, that website, that business that's been around longer, because it's a greater sign of relevance. It's a greater sign that that company is being around. Now, you can't do anything about that. If you're starting a new business and you put up a new website, you can't change that, right? You can't change that. So you got to just do the things I'm about to recommend that you can change, and you got to stick with it, and you got to go. That's the other important thing to realize about SEO. SEO is a long game approach. It's not something that you can just spend a weekend clicking some buttons, doing some things, and then, oh, where's my results? It's like, no, it's a lot like farming. Okay. So if you think about Google, when somebody goes to Google, there's two places. There's the paid ads, and then there's the organic ads, or SEO, the ones that we're talking about here, right? Organic is earned. It's earned through reputation. It's earned through relevance. It's earned through the things I'm about to go through that you can adjust. And it takes time to do that. So if you're going to be committed to local SEO, you better stay committed. You better keep going. You got to keep doing it. You got to keep going, and it's going to get successful over time. So it's like farming. You're planting seeds, but it takes time for it to come up. It takes time to harvest, and then you rinse and repeat. Paid ads is like hunting. You could spin up a website 3 weeks. You can buy traffic. Now, if you've been around longer, you'll actually get traffic for cheaper because your quality score is higher, but this is about SEO, not paid search, so I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But you can hunt. You can go get food right now. You can skip the process of earning that reputation and earning that traffic, but you got to pay for it. So there's a big difference there. Now, I'm not against paid traffic, but you better know what you're doing. It better be profitable. You better understand there's a higher learning curve to that. There's more risk because you're spending money up front to see if you can potentially get a customer. But that is hunting. And so they play together because, again, people go to Google, they do a search. They don't go to paid search and go to organic search. Google just puts up the listing, and it's a mixture of both. So, yeah, like I always talk about with all of this marketing stuff, you got to know your numbers, right? Go check out our Optimize live and about split testing and things like that. You got to know your numbers. You got to test. You got to figure it out. Okay, so those are some caveats and some history, a little history lesson about SEO and Google and all that stuff. Okay, so I want to give you right meow 7. Sorry, can't help myself. Did you say meow? What do I look like? Kitty cat? Little going nimbly bimbly jumping up a tree? Just my 20-year-old employee who's never watched rude comedy movies is looking at me dumbfounded right now. It's a quote from a movie. Chelsea's losing it over there. All right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the opening scene from Super Troopers. Then watch the rest of the movie. But right meow, we're going to get into our 7 things that you can do to improve local SEO. SEO. You should have given SEO. You should have given me like a number of meows I could fit into the thing.
7.
You know what, people? We've been doing this is 38 in a row. Okay, just like bear with us here. We're gonna have a little fun on our IC lives. Larissa's trying to get work done. She's like, what are you doing? All right. Well, we know this is going to be edited later and repurposed for other ways, so let me reintroduce this in a way that's more easily editable.
Please. Yes.
Editable.
Thank you.
My video team is thank you. So let me get all put it together. And here on the Intent Company Live are the 7 things that you can do to improve your local SEO. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Numero 1, to improve your local SEO, create and optimize your Google My Business listing. So Google My Business, you must know what it is. If this is relevant to you, you know what I'm talking about. When you do that local search or you're doing that stuff, it's the thing that shows up in the right-hand corner. It's got all the details about your company. Google My Business listing. I don't know. They probably changed the name of it. They change the names of their products all the time. But do a search for Google My Business or do a search for your business name. And if you don't have a Google My Business account, there's a link. And it says, are you the owner? Is this yours? You click on it. You set up an account. Now you can update your information. So you update information to things like your hours of operation, your website URL. There's actually a ton of stuff that you can do. You can set up chat so people can chat directly from it, phone calls, update pictures, all kinds of different stuff. the more information that you give, the more accurate the information, the more of the stuff, that's a great sign to Google that you are more intentional about your site and your listing. And so it's really like, it's foundational. Like if you don't have this, you're not going to do good at local SEO. If you have it, you got to do it well. It's like a barrier to entry in the local SEO game. So you got to get that all set up. Okay. So if you know how to do it, do a search for Google My Business, figure out how to set it up. And again, just get yourself super accurate information, get it all dialed in. Now, number 2 is you want to optimize your website in reference to local search. So again, you got to think about it. People are doing local-based type searches, right? So yes, auto repair near me, you're not going to put the word near me on your site, right? Google's able to take the geo pin and know where they're at and do the stuff. But you could have your town, right? You could be putting things like auto repair in Southlake, auto repair in Colleyville, auto repair in your towns, right? So does your website actually have content on your site related to those terms, right? And so you can create specific pages. Now you got to be careful not to make pages that are just like complete copies of with like one word change. Like make it unique. If you're going to spend time doing it, do it right? Like add pictures of the local area. Have, show the city. Have good text terms. Have testimonials from people that live in that places. Like actually make a decent page that is referencing local search terms and add value. Again, if it's about relevance, a lot of people, you go online, most of the stuff you're going to get about local SEO is almost like tricks and tactics. Well, put this word here and before that one and put the pipe bar and the thing and you're going to optimize. It's like, nah, just be cool. If somebody was looking for auto repair in Southlake, what do they want? What information do they need? What things need to be relevant? What would give them a more pleasurable experience? What would answer their problems, answer their questions, solve their problems, all that stuff. Serve people, solve problems. Take care of people. Be cool. Make content that actually is valuable. And then just pick away at it. Do it for different cities. Do it for regions. Make sure all the content and everything is really snappy. Just in general, good SEO practices are you want to make sure your website is fast, loads fast, and you need to make sure that it's mobile compatible. These are like little extra tidbits around SEO. Local SEO is going to be mostly managed on your phone. Like people are going to be looking on their phone, so you got to make sure that your mobile version of your website looks fantastic. So, all right, number 3. Get listed in local online directories. So Google My Business is a form of that, but then there's things like Yelp and Yellow Pages and Chamber of Commerce and all this other stuff. So there's all kinds of places you can do it. Now, it's a little intent company plug here. Managing this data can be cumbersome, right? You got to think, if you're in 10 different directories and you change your hours or change your address or change something, now you got to go to 10 different places to do it. So one of the tools that we have is a directory syndication tool. So with our Intent Company app, and this is part of our advocacy machine, we actually set this up where you put all of your data in one place. So again, your address, your hours of operation, your phone number, website, all the different details about your business, put it in one place, and then our tool automatically send it out to 95 plus directories. So it's a really great way to get your stuff in many different places and do it super easy. And so that's one of the things that we do to make that process a lot more simple. But get yourself listed on local directories. You got to think about, where are people at? I mean, Google My Business, Yelp, those are big ones, but just chip away at it. It's better to do it well. So do it well, and then just keep expanding over time if you don't have a tool like we do. Okay. All right, number 4, encourage customer reviews, ratings, user-generated content. So this is, after you do all the rest of them, I probably could have put this as number 7, but after you get all of the stuff together, right? Like you optimize this, you optimize that. Really what makes the biggest difference in your growth is how people respond around your listing, right? Because you got to think, SEO, again, if we're thinking in relevance, what's more relevant than other people saying they really like your stuff, right? Again, it's when people leave a rating, they leave a review. These are like digital referrals, and referrals are the best things you can possibly do. So a lot of what we need to do is encourage people to engage with our listing in a positive way. That's a huge ranking signal to Google. That's saying like these guys know what they're doing. So again, this is a big part of our advocacy machine. That's why I said our automated advocacy machine like super impacts local SEO, because everyone that comes into the system that's bought or that has an engagement with your business, we're sending communications, asking them to leave reviews, leave ratings, upload pictures. You can even do like photo of the month contest where you're going to check your Google My Business listing, and the coolest picture for the month, you're going to give a free service, a free thingy, a gift card or whatever. So, you can encourage people to engage with the platform. And so, you can't manipulate what they put in their reviews. And this is the other aspect of this. At the end of the day, if you're a really good business, you're going to do really good in SEO because it's about relevance. So if people really like working with you, guess what? They're going to leave reviews. If you actually deliver the goods, if you're actually a good business, it's going to naturally lift you up. Now, all these other things can be accelerators and ways to expand, but you got to deliver the goods. If you don't deliver the goods, and you're telling people to go leave your, your experience in a review, you're not going to get good reviews. And you know what? That's the worst. Go get a 2 or 3 star rating on Google and look what's going to happen to your business. So you got to deliver the goods. You got to take care of people. You got to take care of stuff. Okay. All right. Number 5 is make content that's local. So whether it's blog posts, articles, even writing for other people, like if your business is there to serve people and solve problems, right? So how can you make content? How can you create things that are valuable for your local community, right? So like, could you guest write on local blogs or newspapers, or Chamber of Commerce type things? The content could go in there, or you could just put it on your own website. But by you making more content locally, you're making more signals that you're a local business to Google. You're also just being value driven, right? And so the more that you serve people, the more you solve their problems, the more engagement you're going to be. But this also correlates with another point that I'm going to have, which is about building backlinks. So I'll talk about more of that in a second. That's number 7. But one of the biggest ways to show that you're a relevant website is that other websites link to your website naturally, right? They want to link to you. So if you're making content, let's say, and posting it on a local Chamber of Commerce, can you put a link that goes back to your website, right? So that Google and the algorithm looks and says, wow, like the Chamber of Commerce in Southlake is sending links back to Joe's Auto Repair. They must know what they're doing. So one of the easiest ways to get those backlinks is by creating content. So do it video, post a lot, make content where you're walking around the neighborhoods or the downtown area of, it's kind of like well-known spots. Like make local content, post it on your site, post it on social, see if you can get it out to other websites that have influence in your local community. Okay. Number 6 is use keywords that are referenced for local. Right. So you got to think things like neighborhoods, cities. It's kind of like, the optimization of certain pages, but you got to make sure that the phrases that you're using on your website, in your content, in your social, and all the different things are referencing very local and specific pieces of your business. Or so like, again, that's why the individual pages are really good, because these keywords are going to like match up off it. But if you're making content for other websites, you still need to make sure that you include that in there, right? So like Southlake Auto Repair would be an amazing keyword that you could have a hyperlink to that then went to your website. Because now Google looks and says, wow, this link from Chamber of Commerce, this link from this newspaper, this link from this is about Southlake Auto Repair. So those keywords and the combination of the link back to your website is going to have a massive impact. So I'm kind of merging 3 points together at the same time, because number 7 is about backlinks. So you got to think, the more people and websites that point to you and say you're good, the higher you're going to do in SEO, right? So the Google My Business ratings and reviews is about individuals, people that don't have websites. that are referencing you, that are pushing things to you. And those are ranking signals that Google uses. Well, for other businesses and organizations, again, think Chamber of Commerce, newspapers, other well-known businesses. If you can do partnerships, we recommend in our advocacy machine to get friends that are in your industry. So, like I just talked about, like Joe's Auto Repair. What other businesses, maybe like a car wash, let's say, that you have a similar clientele that you could both recommend each other. So what if, Tom's Car Wash, which is the best car wash in town, on their website have preferred partners, and there's a link back to Joe's Auto Repair. But then on Joe's Auto Repair, there's a partner page that links to Tom's Car Wash. So now you're both sending each other traffic, backlinks, credibility back and forth. And the more credible the website you get a link from, the more powerful it is, right? If you get a backlink to your site from ESPN, right? It's this massive website everybody knows. That link is going to carry more weight than some no-name. So you also want to think about in your town, what are those sites that carry the most weight? Which are the ones that show up in the searches? Other businesses, again, I think newspapers and like Chamber of Commerce, organizations. If there's any kind of, depending on where you live, there could be bloggers or websites that talk locally in the area. Make relationships with those people and get those backlinks. And then have those backlinks be referenced by the keywords that then go to local driven content. So that's kind of how number 5, 6, and 7 all work together to improve local SEO. So those are like the specific tips. You got to be consistent. Now, I'll give you some kind of like outside recommendations. The best way to do it, like I mentioned, make local content. Make good content. Make content that's relevant. Right. So if you're like, let's say you're this auto repair company and you could get some content on like the 7 things that you should check, in your car every month, things like tire pressure and oil or like things like this. And you make it super helpful, super good article. You put pictures and all the different stuff on it. Like that piece of content could be super valuable on somebody else's website. Right? And they'd be like, wow, this is a great piece of content. I want to share it with my network. Great. Yeah, share it. Give it to them. Give them the content and just give it to them in exchange with all the links that are on the site that then point back to yours. So like that's a really good strategy for like continuing to make content. And then again, the other big aspect is make sure that you have a system to always be asking for ratings, reviews, and user-generated content. You do those things on a regular basis and you have the fundamentals, what we talked about down, you're going to see continual improvement as long as, again, you deliver the goods. Because all the SEO tactics in the world can't compensate for a poorly run business. If you don't deliver the goods, if you're not taking care of people, if you're not serving them, solving their problems, all these little tricks and tactics won't do anything. But when you are delivering the goods and you add all of this stuff to the mix, you're going to continually see yourself climb. And as I mentioned in the beginning, you got to be committed. If you're going to get in the SEO game, it's got to be a commitment. Don't expect results after 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months. You got to keep pushing, stay consistent, and make it happen. So I hope I've helped simplify the act of SEO, and now you just got to go do the work. Be good, take care of people, recommend them to leave reviews, make content, share it with other cool sites, build relationships. That is the SEO game, and that is local SEO. So, well, this is Billy Robbins with Intent Company. This is another Intent Company Live. I hope you found that information valuable, and we will see you again tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central Time, for another IC Live. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks.